I'm Joe Mertz, and my family ranched, and my brother was 2 years older, and he had to come to town to go to school because he'd gotten to be 7 years old. And so he came here 2 years before I did.
My first grade was private school, and then I came here in the second grade. And but I lived right about 2.5 blocks here on the creek in the big house.
Third grade, I came here to Santa Rita and never had any more fun in my life than I did, because for the first time I had a whole group of friends that were my neighbors, and they were all mostly some good-looking little girls, but also some pretty healthy boys. I can't remember all of the names of who it was that we went to school with, but we had a good time.
I came to Santa Rita in 1937 in the second grade from Sonora High School, where my folks were living, and they thought I should at least attend school there the first year, and that I did. Santa Rita was a different school, as I remember at that age, than Sonora was. There was a big playground here, and there's one in Sonora, but the one in Sonora was rocky and uphill, and this was a beautiful playground out here.
Our playground was just a bunch of dirt, and it was the most wonderful playground anybody ever had. The trees I've checked, they're still there.
When I think of Santa Rita, you know, we had a much bigger playground and everything, but there's nothing on it but dirt, like you said.
Some of us had marbles that we'd bring to school with us, and we'd have our sack of marbles, and we'd draw a circle out there and we'd play marbles. And that was you just got dirty. You were down there in the dirt all the time. And
there was no equipment. Now I see they have a gym and gymnasium and all these nice things that we just kind of had to make do with, out and play in the dirt like.
All activities were in the front, at the front steps, because the backyard was just a mess as a playground.
The big production that I remember that we put on was Hiawatha, and it was at the front of the school, and we had fireflies. The whole sky was lit up with fireflies, and I thought that was pretty neat. I wasn't a star, but I was atmosphere, and got to look at didn't have to learn very many lines, and could look at the fireflies. So it was fun for me.
The school was about 1/3 the size that it is today, and Madison had just been paved. Washington was paved, and Madison, I'm not sure about Bishop or Jefferson, but Avenue D here on the north side was still just a caliche road.
People at Sulphur Draw might wonder where the little slab came from that's across the draw that's on Aldreda Drive. And we lived at 1315 Aldreda Drive and wanted to just cross the draw and up the hill and come to school rather than go down the street and up the street. So my daddy put that slab across there, and we had a little bridge. And so it's withstood lots of high water and no telling what all. And I looked today to see if it was still there, and it is. It's just a slab that connects both sides of the draw. So it was put in there when I started, I think probably when I started in school, because my daddy liked me best. anyway, that's not right. That's really not right, but
So I would walk to school every day, and I taught my fox terrier, who was so smart, to stop when she got off the edge of our property and wait for me there until I got home that afternoon. But she was so smart and so great a dog that my mother said she could tell time, like what time that she was out there waiting for me within a 15-minute period. And so that was kind of neat. And even when I left junior high, she had then moved around because my father was carrying us by car some. She realized we were no longer coming from Santa Rita, but from downtown at junior high. But she would sit out in the front yard of the big house and just sit there on the hill and wait for us. And we always thought that was kind of neat. How did she know we were doing that and whatnot?
It was a great experience, and there were a lot of activities that went on here. The school classes were small. I doubt if there were more than 20 in nearly any class, and separated by grades. They didn't have a cafeteria. The kids, they brought a lunch, ate in their home rooms.
And another thing is in the 6th grade, in Miss Carmody's room, that was in 1940 to 41, they put electric lights in our schoolroom. On dark days, the teachers would read stories to us, and that year she read The Yearling, and it's that big. So it was a lot of dark days that year.
Well, as we progressed in the school and got up to the 5th grade, we had other activities. We began studying Texas independence, and we studied all about the Alamo and the problems at Goliad and getting the cannon away from San Antonio and burying it in the river over at Goliad, and we learned a lot about Texas history.
They built the library, the building that juts out was the first library that they built. They built that when I was either in the 5th or 6th grade. I can't remember, probably the 5th grade, because we used to knit. They'd take it, we weren't in the war yet, but we had people, Americans that really were, and they were cold, and so we knitted blue scarves in the library, and we knitted, and they would just get longer and longer and longer. And they said it didn't matter how long they were because Ben would wrap them up, the flyers, and so we had our time that if we had any spare time, we'd run to the library and knit so that we'd do our war effort.
The boys, the only sport they really played was baseball, because that big area back here then was the only place that had been cleared enough that you could play something where the ball's in the air most of the time.
And as we got a little older, Philip, Willis, and some of us would get together and play football or baseball. I think it was softball in those days. I don't think we played much hardball.
We had baseball too, and I told someone that my position in the baseball team, and they'd never heard it. So I'll tell you and see if you've ever heard it. I was the pigtail. Never heard it. Well, when you can't catch a ball and you can't play any other place, then they put you behind the catcher and you're the pigtail. And that way, any ball that the catcher misses, you get to go find it. So I had a really good position. I was proud of it. And I was grown before I realized that there was no position really like that. It just put me there. but I felt it really good. I played with all my heart.
There was a little girl that died in the second grade, I think, maybe, or third grade. And I just really thought she was cute. She was the cutest thing. And we were in this, then they had desks or chairs, and we had we didn't have enough room, so when we go from one room to the other, well, we'd have to carry our chair. And I would try to kind of bump into her or something. But anyway, she was just the cutest thing you ever saw, and I was real shy about it, but I went down here to Woolworth and I bought a trinket for a nickel. and I walked up and put it on her desk, and the guy I was eating lunch with today said, he said, well, Philip, you're just a cheapskate. You should have at least spent a quarter on her.
I also remember when Britton Smith and Bud Guthrie, it just was a routine, got in fights about once or twice a month.
But if you don't think we didn't have fun, because we had so many activities and we had good teachers, small classes, good friends.
But I think Santa Rita had an excellent principal, and they had an excellent staff to teach the sixth grades that they had here. At least I felt very comfortable when I got to junior high and high school.
I fell in love with Miss McGalliard, and did you all ever do that, fall in love with your teacher? and I don't know, she wasn't all that attractive, but there was something about her that I really liked, and she was a good teacher.
I think Miss Bullock was here then and taught us. One day I was talking to her about, I think I was in the third grade, maybe. I was a little disheartened because I couldn't answer a question. One of the teachers that I had that time, I don't remember who it was. And I said to Miss Bullock, I said, that was a hard question I had to answer. It was a question about math, I think, 2 and 2 or something like that. And I said, that's hard. And she says, well, wait until you get in the fourth grade, says you'll have a lot of math then. Well, Philip mentioned the lady that taught the fourth grade, and she was a good teacher, because when I finished her class, I liked math. I thought it was good. That was really the first year that we had much math in school.
Ella D. Jones, I got to know her real well. I was in her office a lot. She was very sweet and very fair, very strict, but very fair. She was our principal, and but she was loved by everybody.
I was going down the hall one day, and I passed by the main entrance, and Miss Jones was out there. And she said, Philip, get over here. Says, your mother is out here waiting patiently and for you. And I went over and I said, Miss Jones, I said, if my mother's waiting for me, she's not waiting patiently. I'll guarantee you that.
I guess we graduated from Santa Rita at, was it the sixth grade?
Sixth grade, yeah.
And then we went to junior high, and we spent 2 years there. And then we went to high school. It's just across the street.
My grade was the last grade to be up to go 11 years. And the way they handled that was when we went to junior high, we were, instead of going from the 6th to the 7th, we went from the 6th to the 8th grade. Everybody below that grade went 12 grades. So we felt in our grade, we felt pretty smug that we only had to go 11 grades. We got it all in 11. You all have to take 12. So.
No, I think we were all fortunate to be in a school like this because all the kids were friendly and
We just were happy children and happy school and
I like Santa Rita, of course. It was so easy, and my dogs liked it. And
Santa Rita, I'm like Willis, I had fond memories of it.
so those are my memories of people and what happened. And some good things and some bad things too. And I could probably rattle on and think of some more, but that gives you a touch of what I think about when I think about Santa Rita.
I'm sorry I can't remember more things that happened, but what do you expect of 90-year-olds that can't remember your name or who you are? And that's it. But thank you.